When you see this symbol, you know you're watching television that's educational and informational. The More You Know on NBC.
Hi there, I'm Dreyer. Get ready to say good day to some unusual animals that are found only in Australia right now on Earth Odyssey.
Like these wild pups, they're playing with a purpose. They'll grow up to be apex predators. And an aquatic creature so strange, some zoologists thought it couldn't be real. Plus, this flirty fellow comes bearing gifts, but only in his favorite color. But first, an iconic tree hugger brings in the noise. You might say it's his koala the wild. All of this coming up on Earth Odyssey.
The majority of the creatures living in Australia are found nowhere else on the planet. Isolated from the rest of the world for millions of years, they developed one-of-a-kind evolutionary adaptations. But one of Australia's most loved animals is also one of its most mysterious, preferring to live safely in the tallest treetops. Although Australia is famous for its scorching desert interior, often called the outback, this vast country is also rich with temperate and tropical forests, including millions of acres of eucalyptus. These tough trees hide a deceptively tender-looking inhabitant. They may look like teddy bears, and they are even mistakenly called bears. But koalas are marsupials, and not bears at all. With formidable claws and a solitary lifestyle, this male is not as huggable as he looks. The eucalyptus forest is the koala's natural home. It's also their main food source. The tree's strong-smelling, oily leaves repel most plant eaters. In fact, the leaves are downright poisonous. But koalas can't get enough. To digest this toxic cuisine, they grind the leaves to a fine paste. Special gut microbes in their stomachs detoxify the goo for hours. All that chewing still only gives koalas enough energy for 2 hours of activity a day. And right now, this lone male needs all the stamina he can muster. His low-frequency bellow has evolved to be heard more than half a mile away. He's calling for a mate, but so far, crickets. It's time to widen his search. Down on the ground, koalas are exposed to predators like dingoes and Australia's many poisonous snakes. Fortunately, he doesn't have to go far. He finally finds a tree that has the scent of what he's been after. A female. But she's got a young joey, which means she won't be mating anytime soon. But the sound of a female's mating call means he's not far off. He's going to have to check every tree. As for the mother koala, she's not in a rush. She spends a whole year raising her baby before it heads off on its own. This little Joey has started exploring the world outside of his mom's pouch, where he spent his time nursing and sleeping. and now he's old enough to test solid food. Soon, he'll set out to establish his own territory in the trees. Koala numbers have dropped drastically in just a few years. With as few as 60,000 individuals left in the wild, every little Joey's survival is vital to the future of the species. Coming up, it's almost time for these wild pups to be voted out of the pack. And this animal has fur, but its babies hatched from an egg. It's truly one of a kind. Plus, an avian dance to impress, and much more when Earth Odyssey comes right back.
We'll be right back to The More You Know on NBC. We now return to The More You Know on NBC.
In eastern Australia, 10 miles off the coast of Queensland, lies Gari, an island covered in rainforest, pine, and eucalyptus woodland. It's the largest sand island on Earth. Here, plants have evolved to extract nutrients from sand, not soil, turning the grains a brilliant white. And this picture-perfect ecosystem supports Australia's largest land-based predator, dingoes. Originally thought to be descendants of domestic dogs, new studies prove the dingo is an ancient genetic link between wolves and dogs. They likely arrived on the continent with human seafarers at least 3,000 years ago and have been Aussie mainstays ever since. On the mainland, dingoes often interbreed with domestic dogs. But on Gari, pets are banned, making the island's feral dingoes genetically pure. The majority of this male's diet is small mammals and reptiles. But with his forest home backing onto the coast, he also gets plenty of scavenging opportunities from the sea. The dingo's sense of smell is exceptional. A good find, but just a seafood starter. His mate is trying her luck on the forest border. They'll each roam around 12 miles a day, scavenging and hunting. She's looking for insects. Dingoes aren't fussy. They'll eat almost anything. From plants to insects, fish, reptiles, and mammals. But right now, she needs something substantial. She has a litter of pups to feed. While their mom is away, these pups are left in a secluded den site by the forest edge. But they aren't home alone. Dingoes always guard their den. The parents' litter from last year is still part of the pack. Dedicated family members, these big brothers and sisters guard the den site, help provide food, and still find time for play with the younger pups. And this beach litter is a sought-after toy. Their father has returned empty-handed, but is happy to join the fray. Play is important for establishing dominance in this pack of predators. While they socialize, their mom is delivering a seabird dinner to the litter. pups are old enough now to eat meat. That means the parents' next breeding cycle is only months away. For the older of the pups, their parents' new mating season will be their cue to leave home. They won't leave the island, but they'll separate for good from their family. It's all part of becoming an adult. On their own, these wild young dogs will establish new packs in this protected Australian habitat, continuing the legendary lines of the Gari dingoes. When we come back, this bird builds like an architect and dances like a star. And later, what has webbed feet, a duck bill, and a tail like a beaver? The answer is coming up on Earth Odyssey. Stay tuned.
We'll be right back to The More You Know on NBC. We now return to The More You Know on NBC.
Welcome back to our exploration of Australia, where the word extraordinary is no exaggeration. One of the biggest challenges for many species' survival is finding a mate. One rainforest dweller waits 7 years to start looking for a partner, but when he does, his courtship style is impressively creative.
Near the eastern woodlands of Australia is a subtropical and temperate rainforest. A remnant of a time when Australia was still part of a giant supercontinent. Ancient species of conifers, beech trees, and ferns still take root. The Gondwana forests have remained almost unchanged since prehistoric times. But unfortunately, even here, signs of modern human impact can be found. But one wild species has turned our trash into treasure, as long as it's trash of a certain color. This satin bowerbird is putting the finishing touches on a bower, which is a leafy protected space or enclosure, like an arbor. Meticulously, he places sticks to create 2 curved walls. This complex structure really shows off his looks, but the satin bowerbird strictly prefers his favorite accent color, blue. It's thought to show off the male's own blue iridescent plumage. Talk about matchy-matchy. This bird has created an artistic bower that doubles as a stage. It's one of the most elaborate decorative structures designed to woo a female in the animal kingdom. Every artist needs an audience. A female. He's playing it cool. But to win her over, he'll have to put on a performance of a lifetime. His bower is not the only one she'll visit. She'll check several before choosing her favorite. Let the show begin. Watching through his bower, she'll judge his performance. A strut, a bow, and a trademark wing quiver, and even a floral accent. If he does win her affection, females are known to visit the same bowers annually to mate. But only the best are selected. The final move, an offering of one of his favorite treasures. It's a no. Something was off. It's back to perfecting his art. Coming up, it's time to meet one of Australia's most astonishing animals. Stay tuned for more Earth Odyssey.
We'll be right back to The More You Know on NBC. We now return to The More You Know on NBC.
Rainforests cover less than 1% of Australia. But those forests are home to 1/3 of the country's mammal and bird species. Rivers feed the lush foliage and provide a hunting ground for one of the best examples of Australia's evolutionary isolation. The platypus. This Australian native has a duck bill, webbed feet, a tail like a beaver, and she lays eggs. Scientifically classified as a mammal because she also nurses her young. This species' evolutionary path diverged from other mammals more than 165 million years ago. The males can be more than 20 inches long and are perfectly adapted to an aquatic lifestyle. A bottom feeder, the platypus closes his eyes, ears, and nose as he dives. But this animal isn't swimming blind. The platypus has a super sense. His unique bill is packed with thousands of electrically sensitive receptors. He uses it to scan the riverbed for electrical signals produced by the muscle contractions of prey, like crustaceans and worms hiding in the mud. He'll store his catch in his cheek pouches. This male will spend more than 10 hours hunting, eating around half his body weight every day. If all these platypus features weren't unique enough, he's also one of the few mammals armed with poison. Platypus males have hind leg spurs loaded with venom to fend off rivals. Another river predator is tracking his every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. An azure kingfisher, a riverside hunter and a keen observer of the platypus. The mammal's hunting technique makes him a fisherman's best friend. As he stirs up the riverbed, the platypus flushes fish to the surface. Cue the kingfisher. Scientists say the elusive platypus is hard to count and study, but they know platypus numbers have dropped by 1/3 in the last 30 years. This protected rainforest is one of the last places this uniquely Australian animal can survive. We've seen how Australia's isolation is responsible for some very unusual animals. 80% of the mammals in Australia are endemic, meaning they are found nowhere else. And many of those mammals are marsupials, like the world-famous koalas. But one thing is clear, diversity of species is one of the most fascinating aspects of life on our planet. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Earth Odyssey.